Brotatoes, what is up? It's Dark here, and with all the updated challenge mode guides that I've been making lately, I wanted to come back and do an update on the Brewmaster Monk setup guide for challenge modes. Now, in the first guide I made, I sort of talked about crit haste mastery was sort of the build that I went with. Reason behind that was that I'd spoken to a lot of brewmasters that were doing decent times in challenge modes at the time. A lot of them were running crit haste builds, and that's sort of where my love for haste came from. As a nub brewmaster, I actually felt it worked okay. I copped a lot of hate over haste, as it generally is viewed as a pretty worthless stat in challenge modes. Since 6.2, with the stagger nerf, and just in regards to what sort of knowledge I've gained and experience I've gained on the Brewmaster, crit mastery is pretty much this only solid way to go now as a Brewmaster, and that's why I wanted to make this video. So for challenge modes, crit mastery are the stats that you want to follow. Especially after 6.2 and our stagger nerf. You can probably favor crit more than mastery without any issues at all. For your enchanted pieces like your neck, your back, and your two rings, enchant them with critical strike. I don't think there's a need to go too heavy on mastery. As you can see, all mine are enchanted with critical strike. Weapon wise, guys, Mark a Blackrock enchant, again with that stagger nerf, sees our health dropping a little bit, which sees us getting more procs from Mark a Blackrock. We get that bonus armor for damage reduction, and we get the AP from the bonus armor proc. Make sure you're using a two-hander as well, guys. With the change to Way of the Monk, which was back in January, you get about 8 to 11% more EB procs using a two-hander than you do dual wielding. So just keep that in mind when you are picking out your weapon or you are gearing up. Two-hander, guys, all the way. Now, a big thing I wanted to talk about was trinkets, and again, I really didn't cover this very well in my first setup guide. First trinket I'm going to start off talking about is the lucky double-sided coin. This trinket is fucking awesome for burst damage on your big AoE packs. When you're popping your coin, you're pre-potting, and you're going nuts. It is an awesome addition for damage. It's kind of like the agility version of Scabbard, let's say. Couple that up with Evergaze. Now, Evergaze, again, is just an awesome trinket. You got your baseline mastery, and then you've got your bonus armor proc, which, again, you're getting the damage reduction and the AP boost. Now, if you don't have an Evergaze, you can get the Bronze Elk statue. The Bronze Elk statue comes from Salvage Yard level 3, but you're going to have a better chance finding it on the auction house. Anywhere from 200 to 600 gold. It's basically Evergaze, but you're swapping the mastery for stamina, and that is about it. Now, if you do have access to Hellfire Citadel, highly recommend trying to get your hands on this Mirror of the Blade Master. Now, our Shaman has this Keter, and he does fucking ridiculous damage. It is insane on big AoE pulls and even on boss fights. What you would do if you did have Mirror is you would run Mirror and Coin. When Coin was on cooldown, you'd swap back in your Evergaze while it was on cooldown till it was up, then you'd swap your Coin back in. It is an awesome trinket, and if you can get your hands on it, just amazing. Another one I haven't had any experience with is Soul Capacitor. I've heard it is supposed to be amazing, but I haven't had any direct experience with it, so I can't really give you much info on it. The last trinket that you'll probably see running around on a lot of agility users is Pudgy Puzzle. Now, I tried this. It's a 597 trinket, but the thing behind it is it doesn't get scaled down, so it's kind of like having another agility pot every time that it procs. Now, as a Brewmaster Monk, you're not going to be using agility pots anyway. You're going to be using the Drenic Armor pots, but that agility, still AP, still more damage. I tried Pudgy as the Brewmaster, and I didn't like it. I found I was pulling better numbers with Evergaze. So completely up to you, but just from my experience, I did try it, and I did not like it. On quickly to talents, guys, not a lot has changed here. There was the nerf to Serenity, which did change my playstyle. I actually went towards Chi-X. So running all my challenge modes again at the moment, this is the build that I'm using. I'm using Tiger's Lust, Chi Burst. Chi Burst is for AoE, Chi Wave is for single target. Power Strikes, I prefer, you can use Chi Brew if you want the extra stacks of EB. Leg Sweep or Charging Ox I'd be going with. I run with Leg Sweep. Healing Elixirs, I really like Healing Elixirs. You can go with Diffuse Magic. Diffuse Magic certainly has its places like in Orkhandoon and Shadowmoon Burial Grounds to reduce that magic damage taken. But just keep in mind, it does say it has the chance to reflect the damage back to their casters. It's not like Dark Sim and it's not like Spell Reflect. It only works on sort of limited abilities, so just keep that in mind, but it certainly does have its place. Rushing Jade Wind is awesome, and Chi Explosion. If you did want a single target damage to switch for bosses, you certainly could have Chi Wave, and you could use Zuen as well. You could use Serenity if you wanted, but I just like Chi X, so I run with that, but you could use Serenity for that purpose as well. Now onto Glyphs, guys. In my original one, was running Serenity with Breath of Fire Glyph. Serenity was 10 seconds, then you could lock down a pack easily for that duration of 10 seconds. Now I'm not even glyphing Breath of Fire at all. I'm using Fort Brew, Expel Harm, and Fortuous Spheres. Or Fortuous Spheres, I don't know what I just said then. And I'm not bothering with Breath of Fire. It depends on your makeup. If you do need that stun, then you can. But for me at the moment, it's a waste of chi for me. With a Typhoon Vortex, a Binding Shot, a Cap Totem, a Leg Sweep, Frag Belts, there's just no need for it. But obviously play to what your group needs. And that is pretty much about it, guys. I do hope I've covered everything off in this update. If you have any questions at all, please do hit me up. And thank you very much for watching, and good luck. See you guys.